I'm watching the combine over the weekend. Jimmy Hyams nice enough to join us. We certainly appreciate him. You can check him out on the Sports Source and his columns on offthehooksports.com. We absolutely love working with him. Every Wednesday he joins us, brought to you by Ray Varner Ford. I'm watching the running backs over the weekend, and there was this former Tennessee running back that put up a 4.38. Do we perhaps underestimate the loss of Jaylen Wright, Jimmy? Because 4.38, I did not think he was going to put that up. That's pretty elite speed for his size and power.
Dave, I wasn't that surprised by that speed. Remember, in the state of North Carolina, he was a sprint champion. He said he won the state. It was either the 55 or the meters. It was a shorter sprint, which to me translates better into the 40-yard dash than 100 meters, right? So I remember coming out of high school, he was a sprinter. He wasn't thought to be that tough. And then he gained 20, 25 pounds. He was reluctant to put that weight on because he thought it would affect his speed. Well, he put the weight on, it didn't affect the speed. And I remember I think it was a 75-yard run against Georgia, and he defensive backs. And I thought he made a lot of money with that run because I knew he had really speed. And the question was, would he maintain that speed when he put it on? And he did. So, and I think it was Mel Kigham rated the number 9 running back draft. I thought that was absurd. He's better than that. And to your question, yes, Tennessee is that guy. I had with Jabari Small and with Sampson and with Wright is better than the threesome that they have this upcoming year. But Wright averaged what, yards a carry? The only thing that kept him from being a coach, he didn't play him that much. If he had the normal amount of carries, what did he average? Like 12 carries a game, which is ran real fast because he was a sprint champion in high school. And I think he's going to be a really good NFL running back.
Caleb, let me ask you this. So who steps up in the spring, if you want to set that up for Jim?
Yeah, so I could be wrong, but I don't think Peyton Lewis is there in the spring, and I don't think Dylan Sampson at this point is capable of being a feature back. So I think a lot of the pressure in the spring right now, isn't it on Cam Seldon? Because Tennessee doesn't really have a running back room. Jimmy, how crucial is it for Cam Seldon to really step up in the spring?
It's huge. It's really big. They need him to be a really solid running back. I guess the other guy they have is Khalifa Keith, who has not shown yet what he is able to do. But yeah, I think it's a big one for Seldon. I like him. He is a bigger back, much bigger than Sampson. He is a guy that I thought showed flashes last year, and I thought he played well in the Citrus Bowl against Iowa. So I think it's a huge spring for him. And I think Seldon and Sampson can be a really good 1-2 combination. But in Tennessee's offense, and in most offenses, you need a third running back because running backs typically get banged up. I mean, Jabari Small couldn't stay healthy throughout his career at Tennessee, for example. So, yeah, I think it's a big for Seldon.
Take 1 second to hit that like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that. And why Cam Seldon isn't just another spring practice warrior, I want to ask you, Jimmy, about that because he remembers the Kirsten Biggers and the Michael Brewsters of the world, but I don't think Seldon's that type of cat. 60 seconds. Jimmy's appearance brought to you by Ray Varner Ford.
Welcome to Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, where every turn meets
I
new
don't think he's that guy
possibilities and
either.
every mile celebrates the cutting-edge innovation within our Ford lineup. Elevate your journey in this new 2023 F-150 4x4 Super Cab, $44,992. A 2023 Ford Escape all-wheel drive, $30,952. 2023 F-150 4x4 Super Crew XLT, $54,900. Local you trust, innovation you can afford. Ray Varner Ford, your East Tennessee Ford dealership.
So when Jimmy and I worked together in the early 2000s, there were actually 5 straight years where a Tennessee running back set the all-time record for spring rushing yardage. And Jimmy doesn't remember that, but it basically did happen where you had Kirsten Biggers And then you had Michael Stewart, I think was his name, and he went to Hawaii and actually played, if I remember correctly. Why is Cam Seldon not just a spring guy taking up snaps and he's a special player? Why is he a real fall player and not just a spring running back?
Well, he's bigger than those other guys, for one. He also, and he's pretty fast too. He's not Jaylen Wright fast, but he's got some speed about him. I think he could be a really good inside the tackles runner with his size. He was more highly rated than the other two. I think the other two you're talking about, and they were more. I don't know if it was 5 years in a row, but there were a lot of somebody in the spring game would pop and get a lot of yards, and most of those guys were walk-on. And Seldon's not. Seldon's a pretty highly recruited guy, so I don't see him just being a flash in the pan or a spring standout like those other guys were. I think he can be the real deal. I'm very high on him, and I think you will see him continue to get better in this offense and continue to improve as he gains experience at Tennessee.
David Yancey was another one, Caleb. Just throwing that out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy.
He was.
I want to say, and tell me if I'm crazy, but see, I think with Heupel, spring is even less relevant because he's so bare bones with how he runs this offense, and he tries to keep everything close to the vest. But I think that's like magnified at running back this year because Peyton Lewis is not going to be on campus in the spring, and I think Peyton Lewis is going to take that spot. So, are we going to learn anything about the running backs in spring ball at all from Heupel?
Well, and one quick clarification: Peyton is enrolled, but he had a procedure, so he's not going to participate in spring practice. One clarification. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay.
I think we could learn a little bit about Seldon could get better. The one that I would think that you might be able to learn about is Keith. Is he good enough? I don't know that. Maybe he shows that in the spring. Caleb, you're right. They limit a lot of what they do in the spring with the running backs. But, yeah, I think he would be the guy we might learn the most about. DeSean Bishop's on the team. He was a local star. He played at Carnes. He either set or came close to setting for rushing. He's a nice back. The question mark about him is his speed. I don't know if he's any faster than like a 4.65, and he's not a big back, so that kind of hurts him a little bit. Great vision. No. Time will tell if he can play at this level. But the one that I think you can learn the most about is whether Keith is ready to